A dime for a dozen, and that's what you're after. Whoa, ho, ho. On the sun, nothing after. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hello, Evan, Eric, Adrian, Nick Bellinger, Jesus Juras. Take it easy. I'll take care of him.
No, do you have a glass for the Glenlivet for me?
Yeah. Use one of the coffee cups. And just keep opening cupboards until you find something.
Got it.
Yum, 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 yum. Good evening, gentlemen. This should have been titled RCR After Dark, but it still says RCR Glenlivet and Let Die, because I forgot to reset it. But we're going now. The super chat's on, so we're here to answer your questions. And this one question has been coming up again and again. Sunfish says, "What are your thoughts on high schoolers being forced to annotate for grade not comprehension?" And I don't know what that means. I guess it maybe means just teaching to the test. Not sure.
I think it might be a question along the lines of that the teachers care more that you properly cite your sources rather than the content of your paper actually being good.
Sounds like grad school to me.
Yeah, it does sound like grad school to me, which is funny because there's a lot of papers that I wrote that I probably shouldn't have gotten away with quality-wise.
Well, maybe,
yeah.
On second thought, that probably would have been senior year in undergrad. They were crazy about the bibliography then. Schwartz didn't give a fuck about the bibliography. I never had Mahoney. I think Mahoney cared about it.
He did. I mean, Mahoney was... Well, yeah. Weren't you in Middle English with me, with Mahoney?
I had Middle English with... the one professor who got...
who got necked.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, yeah, it wasn't... Somehow my mind replaced him with Mahoney. I don't know why. I don't even remember that professor's name.
Dr. Kelly.
Dr. Kelly.
Handsome man.
He was that was literally going to be the first thing I said. Like, so handsome. Why do you have to...
He had a gig as a male model for like Land's End.
Oh, wow.
Like someone found him thing, and he said, okay, here's what it's like being a male model. Because seriously, he had the bilateral symmetry straight down his face. And he said, well, you stand in a stream for a while and they keep adjusting like pins and safety pins on the back. So the vest or the thing fits perfectly.
Yeah, it's very taut around your by whatever frame.
Yeah. Anywho, the professor we're talking about got caught banging a student. Not just a student, a special needs student.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that part.
Didn't know that part?
I did not know that part. That is unfortunate.
Yeah. Great professor, and now like weird stuff is coming back because he always like wanted to end class early, saying that, you know, these cold medicine's really kicking my ass. I think we're gonna end class early, and I'm like, yeah, I've done that recreationally, but then I wonder if like she's waiting in the office and he's gonna go get his dick sucked or something like that.
I'm gonna go get wet. But it's weird. I'm pretty sure we went to well, not us, but or at least I did. I think we had drinks at the end of semester, because that's the grad school thing of like, now you can go to the bar with your professors after the semester ends.
We did that with Vogel.
Yeah, definitely with Vogel, but I'm pretty sure like I did it with Kelly too.
I'm pretty sure we did it with Kelly.
Yeah. And it's always like the KU Tavern, like right there.
Yeah.
Or the Kutztown Tavern, because it's not the University Tavern.
Right.
But,
anyway, Robbie Steinmetz says, obsessed with Anchorage air traffic control because of you. Yeah, Ted Stevens International. That is a busy fucking airport. And also, if you listen to them on live ATC, they only have a few. You can listen to like ground and approach at the same time, and it's just constant stuff. But the channels that you hear going on are overlapped, and a lot of the radios are bad. And you get to hear people of various languages talking, all in English, because that's what you have to do. when you're a pilot, they all speak English when they're on the radio.
Huh.
Yeah, it's the English is the aeronautical language.
Yeah, galactic basic, basically.
Jordan Greaser says, carry over from the topic earlier. Do you not also drive for Uber? I do not drive for Uber because my car is too old. In Pennsylvania, the oldest a car can be for Lyft is 2004, and my Subaru Forester skirts in under that. For Lyft,
2007?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Because I forgot.
Wait,
for
2007 or 2008 or something like that. I think the Fit could have did it. Or maybe it's 2008.
The reason I forget is because of the generation number. I get the generation and the year confused. Like if it's a 7th generation from 2008 or an 8th gen from 2007 or something like that. I don't know. It's weird.
Seems like ride density is too low out there to just drive for one platform. Yeah, most people drive for both. When are we going to get some proper whiskey glasses? Dude, I need to go to the restaurant store down in Wyomissing and buy legit whiskey glasses. I recommend Glencairn's. Also give Wingle PA Rye a try. Yeah, I think that could be something else. Like, now that I've just killed, this is the very last of the Tomatin. And this was a very nice week of ending every single night with a glass of whiskey, but for the rest of this week and into next, can't drink. Gotta take a week off.
Oh, are you doing week on, week off?
That's what I do.
Yeah.
MH Taylor says, just joining the stream now. Thanks, MH Taylor. I try to drop $5 every time I catch you guys live. Oh, thanks, man. It means a lot. Love what you guys do. I don't know how you aren't at 1 million yet. Well, give it time.
Yeah.
I mean, we are the weird one, and we don't do clickbait, so
I mean, I had an idea for a video that I thought was going to be pretty handily rejected along the lines of that short What is Mopar video of just what are the 5 things that drivers do that everybody hates, or the 5 most infuriating things that drivers do, and it would just be like a list video, but mostly I would have been making it as an excuse to complain about people who go to Wawa, park, get gas. Once they're done filling up, they leave their car in and then go in to get food instead of moving out of that spot and parking somewhere else. The whole video, it would have been like 5 reasons, but it really just would have been that one reason and then 4 other things. Like, whatever. Like left lane,
bandits.
Hogs. Yeah.
We could just hang out at Wawa and wait for someone to do that. Just film their car the entire time and try to turn it into a Bill Burr rant.
Yeah.
Like, still coming outside. We could do split screen, follow someone inside. Of course, there are laws against that.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, we have to film, like, non sequiturs for this one video that I shot at Truck Nationals.
I have some weird random... Well, I mean, I have videos of those ducks at the community pool that do nothing, but I don't know.
Brendan Fitzpatrick says, and thank you for your donation, says, any plans to go to Radwood, Philadelphia on October 14th? I want to, but I think we are going to be in Austin, Texas. Let me have a look here. October 14th. Be right back.
Yeah, because I think the plan was mid-October. Because I'm at New York Comic Con like the week of... Well, literally the first week. So it's like 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And then after that, like my October is wide open.
Well, let's see. October 15th falls on a Monday.
That's weird.
Oh, 14th. October 14th. That's a Sunday. Yeah, we're not leaving until I think the 16th. So it's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible. Where in Philly? Do I got to drive like downtown frickin' Philly?
A friend of mine, she needs a date for a wedding because she has a +1 and she doesn't want... to drive in downtown Philly.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't really want to drive in downtown Philly either.
Oh.
Like, you're really...
I don't even like taking 76 through the city. That's why we always take the blue route going to the airport.
Yeah.
The only time 76 is fun through the city is like 1 in the morning.
I don't know.
It's our own little bit of lower whacker, which we didn't end up doing while we were in Chicago. 3 times in Chicago, never did lower whacker. It's RCR Chicago 2 will happen at some point, but anyway. Derek Myoronic said, looking for a new daily. Oh boy. Noticed a lot of Dodge calipers. Nope. But they get kind of pricier. No, do not buy a Dodge caliper. I stay away from anything Fiat Chrysler America. You need a daily, you need a Toyota Corolla, you need a Honda Accord. Yeah, that's what you're doing. Something you don't care about. Ford Focus, I guess. Dodge caliper, no. Honda Fit, yes. Yeah, nah.
Oh, yeah.
Dodge caliper, no.
Yeah.
Crap. Second gen neon platform. That is terrible.
Jerion down there mentions that, funny enough, FAA is hiring air traffic controllers now, and I'm wondering, like, what are the qualifications to do air traffic control? Like, what do you have to? I don't know.
Crazy psych exams. It's like worse than a Wall Street stockbroker. The amount of stress. You have to be cut from a weird cut of cloth to do that job.
Well, yeah, the amount of insane stress because you have so many lives or souls.
Yeah.
In your possession.
I am going to do more vaporwave videos. There is a new RCR channel I just made last night. There's nothing on it, and there's no promotion yet. It's just, well, you have your personal one?
My personal one, which is just called Limited Time Roman. Like, I changed the name because originally it was just Nicholas Roman, and then I realized you can change the name of a channel.
Yeah.
And so I changed it to Limited Time Roman after the show, which is just me and my nephew eating limited time only foods. There's a video going up on Friday that took like an hour to edit. It's like super fast, and it's us trying different flavors of the Lay's Taste of America flavor chip thing. It's not a contest, but there are 8 chip flavors. One is ketchup, one is Chesapeake Bay crab spice, and another is bacon wrapped jalapeno popper.
Sweet.
All good. So yeah.
My personal channel is just called Mr. Regular. I made a banner, but probably like my vaporwave stuff may go on there. I may do personal videos on that. I don't know how it's going to sync up with the rest of Google Analytics. Does it get its own analytics page or something else?
I don't know.
Who knows? But we'll cross that bridge when you get to it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Crash Test Dummies, the band.
Yeah.
They have the Glenlivet appears in one of their lyrics of when I go out with artists, and there's this one line that goes, "What if the artist ran the TV? All the ads would be for fine Scotch whiskey, Glenlivet," and then he names some other brands. You want to talk about an underrated band? Holy shit. God Shuffled His Feet, that Crash Test Dummies album, it's amazing. I mean, yes, it's the bass baritone guy.
They were kind of cursed by having that hit,
right?
Yeah, because then no one could take them seriously after that.
But the rest of their songs, they have a female backup vocalist and like all their things, and he did one. He did a Christmas song on that album or something like that. It's amazing.
I'm telling you, Christmas songs are where it's at.
Brendan Fitzpatrick says they're gonna have it at the Navy Yard. Oh boy,
in deep South Philly. It's like,
yay! Yeah, I get it. Like Radwood is supposed to be in industrial areas, but come on, guys.
A shooting a day keeps us away.
Okay. Where were we here?
There it goes.
David Sidaway would love to hear your guys' opinion of Utah. Don't move to Utah. That's what I hear from Joe Rogan, is that everybody in Utah says don't come to Utah, it's crap, because nobody wants Salt Lake City to turn into a new Portland because it's secretly amazing there.
My friend Mike, who I was talking to earlier about with the heated jacket, he has an amazingly hot sister who is now moving to Portland.
Yeah.
But she seems like she would probably end up in Utah.
Yeah.
Like, if I had to guess, because it seems like the type of environment where you end up, it's a compromise when you don't want to end up in the downtown where bicyclists rule the road.
Yeah.
But you also want to feel like you're far away from home and have that sense that it's, autumn more often than not.
Yeah.
And also, hey, you get to pretend that you're better than everyone else who's lived there forever.
Yeah.
Because you're not Mormon. It's just like that type of thing. But hey, now you're a part of it.
Yeah.
You're not, a religion, but just part of the area, part of the economy and culture of whatever makes Utah, Utah. Because it's not just Salt Lake City. Like,
right.
People just say that it spreads around to the whole place. That it's just a very strange state that almost feels like you're in a different country altogether.
Really?
Of course, you could probably say the same thing about Pennsylvania or Texas or Alaska.
I forget where I heard this, but like one of the booming industries in Salt Lake City is psychiatrists. Because you get these Mormon people all confused and they need someone to talk to, and also like family therapy and like sex therapy because, general repression and stuff like that. Now, of course, this is just internet rumors, but it's the one thing that kids want to fuck, kids want to boom.
Yeah.
I was just watching that Flight of the Conchords, that one song, like, that's just called Boom. It's like a reggae song. Anyway, but in like some weird Mormon rules, like, a guy can stick it in, but he can't do anything. So like, penetration is okay, but sex isn't. So you stick it in, but then you both sit still. Like nothing happens. So it's like this fucked up edging thing.
Oh. It's just like sitting in there pulsating.
Yeah.
And it's just hanging out in there like he's in a doctor's office waiting to get his name called, or I thought you were going to tell me like, okay, there's an exact measurement of how much of it can go in. and then you're breaking some kind of law. But if you can go like all like the minute you have a little bit of motion, suddenly you're in violation of God's law. How does that work? No wonder everybody's repressed.
There is one religion that like there's no law, it was never addressed, like butt sex wasn't addressed. I forget which version it is. And then just everybody just like ass slams.
I feel like it was a plot in some animated TV show. It might have actually been Family Guy, where they start doing it in each other's ears because it's not any of the different or any of the official orifices. But yeah, that's.
Will Robinson says summers in the Seattle area have been getting increasingly hot and smoky in the recent years due to huge wildfires. Do large forest fires ever happen in Pennsylvania? No, because it's wet a lot. Like, this is a wetter summer than most. The newspapers and the TV shows are really talking about, oh, it's flooding, Pennsylvania's flooding. I mean, we generally get like a flood every year. Like, some of these towns just get underwater. Reading is still kind of on a hill a bit.
We flooded once. It was about 6 or 7 years ago, where like all of 422 was just like underwater.
Really?
Well, not all of it, but they pretty much had to close every possible area of entry into the city other than 5th Street Highway and the Bingham Street Bridge.
Okay.
So you couldn't get into the city. And so basically me and my friends at the time, we just kind of like walk down there and we're just walking along 422 in the non-flooded parts and remarking on how surreal it was that we're just walking down the highway. But it's strange because like we had no real way of dealing with any of it. It was kind of, you know, what happens when the thing that you should probably have some preparation for happens. It's like, well, I got nothing.
Got nothing. Also, very few people around here have air conditioning. Yeah, Pennsylvania, we're pretty much good with air conditioning, but most of it is window units.
Yeah.
M Beats, good to see you again, buddy. Is this super chat? Indeed, it is. Wouldn't be a late night podcast without you.
Yes. And how?
I'm gonna need a chaser soon.
Dr. Jones.
Oh, love that song. I'm sorry, that's Mr. Jones, Counting Crows.
Mr. Jones and me.
I have a bootleg recording, a really nice one of August and Everything After. The song that doesn't appear on August and Everything After. It was something like, we're never going to record this, we'll only do it live. And in the beginning, I forgot the lead singer's name.
Adam Duritz. Durwitz or Duritz.
Says, I gotta remember how the song goes because I've literally only played this fucking thing 3 times in my entire life. Waking up Maria. Holy shit, it's like him at peak. It's like Counting Crows at peak Counting Crows. Have you heard that single?
I'm sure I have, but not enough to recall offhand.
Okay.
Did you know that he dated like 1/6 of the cast of Friends?
No.
Or actually, no, like possibly 2/6. Because I'm pretty sure he dated Jennifer Aniston and Courtney Cox.
Huh.
When in peak. Although I swear, time has not laid a finger on Jennifer Aniston.
Nope.
The ever encroaching finger of time. But
was Jodie Foster in Blade Runner 2049? Was she the police chief?
No, that was Claire from House of Cards. What's her name?
Oh,
Robin
shit.
Wright.
Yes.
It's strange. I was thinking of Blade Runner 2049 the other day because I was thinking of sequels that actually surpass the original, and Blade Runner 2049 by orders of magnitude is superior to the first one. I like the original Blade Runner, don't get me wrong, but I kind of don't get why it's like
kind of campy a little bit.
Yeah, that, and I mean, just that ridiculous scene where Harrison Ford is like zooming in and it zooms in and it zooms in and they're holding the shot for like, what is the purpose of holding this shot for this long?
Yeah.
And I was watching the one that, Ridley Scott like intended to be seen, the one with the, I forget if it has the unicorn dream in it or not. I'm not that good in that. But like, it's all right. It's a good noir movie.
Yeah.
It's whatever. But Blade Runner 2049 is like this transcendent sort of postmodern thing that is an animal all its own. Like, you almost don't need Harrison Ford in that movie.
No.
Because it's more compelling to just follow Ryan Gosling as it's deconstruction of the hero's journey.
Yeah.
Of like the refusal to action and then getting to the end and realizing it's, well, it's not. It is a chosen one story, but it's also not a chosen one story.
Yeah,
like one of those promised or prophesied hero type things. I don't know. I feel we talked enough about that last year. That movie, but it's great.
Daka Jones wishes you a little bit more funky. Hey guys, I work as a delivery driver. Before I leave, I want to rent a sports car to deliver in, just for fun. What would you do? GTR? C7? C7, yes. M3? Something that handles very well. Dude, if you want to have fun, go with Corvette. You can deliver stuff in the back. It's going to be a fun time. They'll be on Turo all day, every day. Even, dude, get a C6. Probably even cheaper. You'll have just as much fun. So fucking LS. You'll be great.
Man.
That's my suggestion too. Is not a C7. Find on Turo a C6. You can probably get one for like $70 a day. Wang.
Stwang? Saint Wang? Saint
Wang.
There we go.
314. What are some motorcycles that you would like to review? A Kawasaki, H1 or H2? I would also... I would like to get my hands on a Fat Boy, because that's a Harley I do enjoy. Rhyming. I would also like a... I think I got a beat on one guy who's going to come up with a first generation CB750. That's going to be pretty fun. Even though it's probably not going to be better than the one we rode in Chicago. I would like to do Neil, the real Neil's Honda Ruckus, which will happen. I would like to do... Oh, teasing. They're all Hondas, aren't they? The Turbo Honda from the 80s. Yeah. And another Honda, the Pacific Coast. Get some other brands in there, Brian, why don't you? Yeah. I could have some fun with the Kawasaki Contours, but I'd just be making fun that it's not a Honda Goldwing, even though it tries to be.
You say, like, get some other brands in there, Brian, why don't you? But your thing, and I remember one of the early podcasts you mentioned how, like, the bike reviews are the ones that are, like, for you.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this is your chance to drive or ride any number of exotic bikes, or bikes of all different stripes. So it's
rhyming.
Like, yes, we would like for people to enjoy the bike reviews, but you know, they're still going to happen. Baconator
1288 in the regular chat. Mr. Regular, you have an amazing speaking voice. Thank you. Have you considered voice acting? Yeah, but I don't know how to get into that, and I don't know how to pretend this. Even though I think I did a pretty good job on the upcoming thing of Uncle Pull Tab.
Oh, that's going to be a great character.
Yeah.
That I think can come back. Yeah. Like that he has return potential.
Yeah.
Speaking of characters bring back from the first RCR After Dark, that I want to bring back, like that pro wrestler that you created. like I don't know if he has a name, but it's one of those things where, like, I just want to be able to film a non sequitur as his manager, where like the wrestler himself doesn't actually have to say anything. It's just me hyping him up, and it's the 1980s, and the film is a little degraded.
Oh, and they do make USB cards, like analog to digital, where if we could find a camcorder and film it in broadcast quality. Like, imagine getting an old TV camera from like '89. You'd have to find it on eBay and find one that's working. Yeah. But be able to film that analog, like the early versions of the Eric Andre show, which was with like '80s cameras.
Yeah, that would be some very like avant-garde shit. Well, maybe not avant-garde, but you know.
I have a Kawasaki Versus 650. I'd love to see RCR. Check that out. Oh yeah. There was a the bike I had before the first bike I had was a Yamaha Champ. It'd be fun to find one of those, or a Honda Spree. Honda has all the hits, man. They're kind of like the Led Zeppelin of bikes, and you want to give credence to other ones. The big one was Suzuki pulling the Hayabusa out and embarrassing everybody.
Yeah, it's like you want someone else. Like, come on, let somebody else have a little bit of the spotlight.
Yeah,
it's like Drake now. He's got like everything on the Billboard charts. Just like, dude, come on.
Eric Z. 90s through early 2000s, Ford Rangers are great light-duty trucks, especially with the 2.3 4-cylinder, but the 3.6 V6 is terrible. I agree. Prove me wrong. Can't. You're right. You want a good pickup truck, you get a Toyota Tacoma. Ranger. Like, it's a gardener's truck. Yes. It's this gardener's truck who's starting, and once the gardener becomes successful, they get a Toyota or a Nissan hardbody. Yeah. I've not. Yeah, I know. They're making a new Ranger, and it's offering steel wheels and everything like that. But it's going to be a big truck. It's not going to be a mini truck. And that's what's going to suck. Rhyming.
Before the next one, there was a question earlier. I want to say it was from Nick Belanger. It wasn't a super chat, but he wanted to ask like recommendations on ska albums. Like, what are your favorites?
Peculiar by the Slackers.
He actually mentioned that one too.
Oh, okay. The Great Rocksteady Swindle by the Slackers. Let's Face It by Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. I know they're commercially successful because of the impression that I get, but play their first track, Noise Brigade, and tell me you're not ready. You're not ready to dance. Don't Let the Bastards Drag You Down. I can't remember if that was that. I mean, that is a single, but I don't know if it was also the name of an album by the Toasters. Don't Let the Bastards Drag You Down.
Some good recommendations in there. So where okay. So another one from Derek Myronic. Thank you for the $5 Canadian. Thanks for the feedback on the caliber. Kind of more curious than serious. Also, you guys have been on point with the pronunciation of my name. Well, hey,
thank you.
Fantastic. Randy Bish, my boy Randy. $5. You're tied to a railroad track. It's getting dark. You have no tools, and you feel the tracks rumble. Choose your Pokemon. Geodude.
I don't know
what Pokemon will like save you from this, and I have no idea. But
I am too old, man. just that little bit, man. I don't know. Brendan Fitzpatrick, regular question. South Philly is the nice part. North Philly is where you need to be ready to duck and cover. Oh, all right then. But South Philly is where the airport is.
Is
an
it?
Airport? Yeah.
Because I'm usually not paying attention on any of the drives there, except when we got to like around Barnum Road, I think it's called, and it was like, you are now reaching your destination.
Click. Randy Bish says you're tied to a rail.
Oh yeah,
We just answered that. Low res video, yeah, I know, Derek.
It happens.
It is what it is.
Dylan Sterling, $4.99. Should I? Oh, and thank you for that. Should I buy an all-wheel drive 2014 Dodge Charger with the 3.5 V6 as a commuter car?
No. If you really got to drive a muscle car, you can have it. I'd go against the all-wheel drive. I don't know how well their transfer case is. You're not gonna. A commuter car should be. It should get better gas miles than that's gonna be. But I understand why you want to do it, because you want to have something good, or you want to have something that looks manly.
My immediate.
I don't recommend that. It's gonna be more reliable than most. It's modern-esque. The thing is, man, you got a 3.5 liter V6 in the Dodge Charger, and a Honda Accord V6 is going to embarrass you. It's going to be so much faster and so much nicer, but the Dodge Charger is probably going to be cheaper.
My thing is, I always wonder where do you live? If you're going to get a car like that, are you dealing with harsh winters? Is this a car that's really going to serve you on a commute? I don't know. It's just something to think about.
Yeah.
Sunfish Gill, $1.99. Thank you so much. Y'all are getting as addictive as Rogan Diaz. Well, thank you.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, I can't think of anything that's as funny as getting those two guys together in the same room. But in podcasting terms, anyway, because they're like dynamite. They're both great storytellers.
The Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
Whenever I see Rogan Diaz pop up, it's like, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, whether it's...
I'm downloading that one so it doesn't get interrupted.
Whether it's JRE or the church, it's going to be good.
Henry Rollins was on the Church of What's Happening Now.
When?
Just recently. It's the most recent one. Worth it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to listen to that. I'm going to have to go on a drive solely for the listening. Because when I'm at the gym, it's weird. I kind of try to get the listen to music instead of podcasts at the gym, just because I'm one of those guys who's like, yeah, I'm doing
gym.
Medium chain triglycerides. But
man, but I wish there was like a little app just for Joey Diaz motivation. Yeah, like to just get you ready. Look, it's nothing but elbows and assholes from here on out.
Yeah, it's it was Chris Rock who said that if you have enough uncles, they prepare you for life. And I feel that's kind of like what Joey Diaz is. He's like one of those uncles who you're stressing out about everything, and he's over there just chill as shit and making sure that you understand that, hey, life is short. Stop freaking out about everything.
Hey, just don't talk to the cops, and it's 2018.
Yeah.
Who's better than you?
Yeah.
Burgundy Burnouts wouldn't be a podcast without you, man. You say new neighbors just moved in, brought their project cars. A 5.0 Coyote naturally aspirated Miata? All right. A 350 small block Chevy Nissan Silvia. Curveball. On my channel, and they are going to help me do the 3.8 liter L26 swap on my Firebird. Very cool. Being able to make friends as a 22-year-old is weird. Well, that's just as like college.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, if you're in college, you're still at a point where you're thrown into situations where you almost kind of have to at least try to make friends, as opposed to like work where you just kind of want the day to be over.
Oh, yeah.
I've never done well at 9-to-5s, but I always did well in academic environments when it comes to making friends.
Because you're all equally confused and everybody wants to know, so what are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
Cactus Catastrophe, and thank you for your donation, Burgundy Burnouts. Cactus Catastrophe says Tom Mansell's voice is audio equivalent of pouring brand new synthetic oil into a pristine engine. Yeah, Tom can do accents, man. He'll be back. Like, I have to get a second camera when Tom Mix is going to be back for beer reviews, but I gotta get a tiny sampler glass because I can't keep up with that guy.
Why does he go by Tom Mix?
Well, he really doesn't want to go by his name, so because
he's like up there now.
Yeah,
in the stratosphere of higher learning.
Yeah. George Meyer. E36 manual, inline 6 rear wheel drive, best cheap sports car. Yeah, if you know how to work on it. Thing about BMW, you get the primary parts. I love them. They're great. See, you're talking to a guy who loves classic American cars, and when I think sports cars, I don't really concern myself with cornering ability too much. I want simplicity, and I want to fix everything with that car with what comes in the Summit Racing catalog. So, I mean, I go with Fox Body Mustang as best cheap rear-wheel drive car, but I was listening to the Smoking Tire, and he was talking about how in the early 90s they were still making the Fox Body Mustang at the same time the Nissan Skyline R32 was out. And when you get out of an R32 Skyline and get into a Fox Body Mustang, you get mad at America. It's this is a shit interior. And then you get into a Skyline from 1990 and oh wow, this is a modern car.
Yeah.
And so that's what bugs you. The engine is smooth and quiet and zippy and all that fun stuff, and you get in American cars and they shit crazy bad.
It's like every Japanese car is a good 5 to 10 years ahead aesthetically on the interiors, and possibly under the hood. I'm not entirely sure. Depends on the automaker. Totally.
I mean, there are some. I mean, the answer to a question that's coming up is Mitsubishi. Sometimes they do some pretty nasty stuff, and the Evos were fast, but they were touchy machines. Carl Broom says once you go black you go deaf. I don't understand.
It's a reference to the earlier thing about people having sex in the ear on Family Guy, and so yeah, I'm not having any more, so you're free to kill that and
I'll take it easy then.
Keep it if you want.
Sit my way to freedom.
Yeah, because that was a gift anyway, so I didn't pay anything for it.
Okay, I'm gonna get a chaser and then pee again because I've almost eaten an entire watermelon.
This one I could probably cover just because it's DS9. If the main characters of DS9 were to time travel to present day Pennsylvania, which would each of them drive, and what would they each, or where would each of them live, and what would they each choose to drive? I've got a mom in a 97 Tercel south of Pittsburgh. Oh, I've got Morn in a 97 Tercel south of Pittsburgh. Wow, did I botch that? Oh wow. Would Morn even fit in a Tercel? A Tercel is something that like I could see Odo driving just because yes, he's the authority on Deep Space Nine, but he's also someone who doesn't care about aesthetics. And so, sure, just put me in a Tercel. It's a small thing. I'm a shapeshifter anyway. You know, he could be whatever. He could be the Tercel himself. I don't know. It's kind of... I have no idea how to answer that question. I mean, it's... I don't know. Maybe, like, Dr. Bashir would probably drive a BMW and live in Harrisburg somewhere because he wants to have the esteem of living in the capital. Even though he's genetically modified to be smarter than he is, or would be otherwise. See, this is weird. It's getting into nerd talk territory, but it's hard to really ignore. Workforce 520, did your super chat get skipped? I'm sorry if it did. We haven't gotten to every super chat yet. I will look it up on my phone to see if that is indeed what happened. And workforce. Yeah. Well, I will get back to you on that because I'm terrible at this. But thank you for the $199.
What's the question?
No. It's Workforce 520. He thinks his super chat got skipped, but I don't know. I don't know if we missed it or if we haven't gotten to it yet. Meanwhile,
let me see here. M-Beat says, you take the good, you take the bad, you take both, and there you have.
R.I.P. Mrs. Garrett, because Mrs. Garrett from The Facts of Life passed away at the ripe old age of like 92, I want to say. So good long life.
Let me see if we didn't get to Workforce 520 yet.
Yeah.
Okay, there's where he says the super chat got skipped. And...
yeah, maybe it did. Well, if you ask it again in the normal chat,
let me see if I can find it. Workforce 520, where are you? Workforce,
there it is.
Okay. Sorry that we skipped you. Workforce 520 says, my aunt works TSA at Ted Stevens. Oh, up in Alaska. Nice. They get a lot of cool animals. I'll bet they do. People traveling with like Malamutes and stuff. Alaska is like, I say this with all goodness in my heart because I love Alaska, but you're kind of the cold Florida sometime. And the reason is, like, when we were driving with the guy who owned the Del Sol, I asked, why is Florida just a haven for ne'er-do-wells? And he said, this is as far as you can go. Like, not only you're in the United States, but you're out in the middle of the water. This is as far south as you can go.
Yeah.
People are trying to get away from something. It's generally cheap living, and safety inspections on your car. This is usually as far as you can drive your car. Now, you can go to other ends of the country, but think about the other ends of the country. You got Southern California, which is expensive as shit, LA and San Diego.
Yeah.
You can go northwest, northeast. That takes you well past Baden up into Maine, where there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's no real... You're up there... What are you doing? Fishing? It gets cold up there.
Yeah.
You can go Pacific Northwest. You can go the other end. No, that's Portland and Seattle. Again, crazy expensive.
Yeah.
So it's the only corner of the country we can go really far away, and there's stuff to do. It's sunny. It's warm. It has all the things that an uncultured deadbeat dad likes: tiki bars and titties.
It's just Jimmy Buffett
yeah,
territory.
right? All the feel-good music. Now, Alaska is where you really want to get away.
Yeah.
Because you got to cross Canada to get there. So, and there's money, and Uncle Sam's not looking, and I know I have this thing that I say about Alaska, but that's the one state in the Union where Uncle Sam can't see you from the kitchen window.
No.
So you can be doing some shit in Alaska no one knows.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, when I was gearing up to go teach in Alaska, this one guy at my gym said, you got to be careful, people disappear up there. And I'm like, get out, people don't disappear out there. Yeah. And I was talking to students, and I'm like, oh, sometimes people go in the tundra, they don't come back. It's like Casino with
De Niro and Pesci.
Like, people go out into the desert to get buried. Yeah. Like, there is this thing that sometimes if you fuck up with the wrong people, they'll take you fishing. You go out in the desert and you get popped, and they just leave you. And I'm like, there's so much space up there.
Do you like they did Fredo Corleone? Just one in the back of the head while you're out fishing and saying a Hail Mary.
Baconator 1228. No question, but thank you for the donation. I want to do more radio, but sometimes radio people are kind of weird. But then I'm weird.
Yeah.
But then that only means that my weirdness is incompatible.
Up. Because I think we skipped Dan Dunlap.
Dan Dunlap.
Selling my clapped out E36
for my first bike. Looking at a Kawasaki Ninja EX250. Yep. Good choice. Anything I should look for when buying one? Yes. If you want to do what I would do, if you don't know how to use a compression tester, then don't bother with this test. If you do know what a compression tester is, then ask to do a compression test on the bike. And if the owner says, I don't see why you got to do that, that means it needs piston rings. You'll get on it, you'll ride it. For everything that doesn't work on the bike, take the $100 off your offer.
Yeah.
You're gonna do the penny test on the rear tire, front tire too, but rear tire is more important. That's your drive tire. You're gonna put the bike up on the center stand if it has one. See if it weeble wobbles while it's up there. You're gonna test the snapback of the throttle, see if anything's sticking there. When you show up on the bike, put your hand on the crankcase and see if it's warm. If the guy, I warmed it up for you. I want to see what this bike runs cold.
Yeah.
Because that means it may have idle problems. Now the good thing is all the parts are available and they're easy to work on and they're super cheap. So even if it doesn't run great, I wouldn't pay more than $1,500 for any EX250. If you're paying more than that, it better be cherry. But again, EX250, I'm way too big for that bike. I tried to ride Ted Stoltz ones. It's like, no.
Man.
I'm like riding a rocket ship ride at giant food stores.
Burgundy Burnouts, 1999. Oh, wait, no, that's Cactus Catastrophe. Sorry, I was looking at the thing and it looked like his.
Yeah. Torque is immensely underrated. Talk to diesel guys. I recently got to drive an Acura Integra that had some tasteful mods done to it. It revved to the better part of 8,000 RPM, but still somehow felt slower than my V6 Pontiac Grand Am. Yeah, I got that when I drove a modified AE86 at one of my car meets. It had individual throttle bodies. It revved like crazy and was totally gutless. It's like an EX250 Ninja. It's all the power's up top. If you like that, your dick will be hard for days. But if you like torque, you stick with American stuff, and they're more fun. I understand it. But the weird thing is with those little performance engines, you're out on the highway, your engine doesn't shut up. You're hanging at 3,500, 4,000 RPM to go 65, 70 miles an hour on the highway. That feels weird. Now, it doesn't feel weird on a bike because the engine's so small and it's so smooth. It's just going away. That's fine. But you're in a car and it's hanging at $4,000. It's like something feels wrong here.
Yeah.
My Nissan Versa CVT is squeaking, yet the mechanic says it's fine. What should I do? Keep driving it. It's not worth repairing a Versa. Dr. Squared. Saw a red Falcon wagon on my way to work this morning. Nice. Falcon wagon is almost like a half foot longer than the Falcon sedan. I thought they were the same. They're not. They stretch the back of that thing. Those are nice wagons. Roll down rear window and everything. I'm feeling better, by the way.
That's good.
And I feel bad that alcohol made me feel better.
I mean,
can't say that isn't the first time this has been a solution to something.
No, hey, I can say the same. But it's, it's a salve on the, dryness of adulthood, or a lubricant. There we go. I've forgotten how to English. Now it's inverted, and I'm the one who kind of feels like I have a bit of a headache, and I'm feeling a little tired, but not like not fatigued. Just, it is what it is.
I'm doing fine. Yeah. Will Robinson, $2. Here's the question from earlier: Is Mitsubishi or Suzuki the Chrysler of Japan? Well, Mitsubishi, because they were buddy with Chrysler. Suzuki made a few cars, but no one cares in the U.S. People care about their motorcycles, not their cars. So definitely Mitsubishi is the Chrysler of Japan. I mean, the Starion, Chrysler Conquest. I mean, they were all in for the DSM cars. Mitsubishi 3000 GT, Dodge Stealth, that sort of thing. Andrew C, regular chat, says the Toasters, bunch of exclamation points. DLT BGYD is a great album. I had this big, gigantic ska playlist. I'm sure I have their songs. I can't remember which album has what songs, but on that, Nick Merringer says, listen to Peculiar, and it's great. Yeah, you're damn right. It's great. God, it's a great album. Thanks for the other recommendations. Yeah. The one line in the title track of Peculiar says, Father was peculiar, and we both ended up with the same girl.
Oh.
Father was peculiar, so what's it to you? Peculiar, so what's it to you? See, the interesting thing about when Vic Ruggiero writes his lines for the Toaster is that he rhymes with his rhymes work because he's singing with that heavy Brooklyn accent. So words that don't normally rhyme with correct enunciation and American neutral accent rhyme with him because it's heavily Brooklyn. So he rhymed peculiar and to ya. They're almost a rhyme the way we pronounce it, but he rhymed it with his accent. Father was peculiar, so yeah, what's it to ya? And I'll be lucky if they ship me to Siberia. I'd be lucky if they ship me to Siberia. Like, his lyrics don't quite make sense. But man, that one song, Parking Lot, is
Parking Lot is fantastic.
Unbelievably good. Sup22 says, sorry I missed you guys in Chicago. Yeah, sorry you didn't come to the meet. Mondays are tough. High five. Keep up the good work. Yeah, there was a crazy turnout for a Monday evening.
Yeah, it was. It was very nicely populated. I thought the location was perfect for the meet. And a lot of people were incredibly nice. I had someone on social media ask me what's the weirdest fan encounter you ever had, and I said, well, I mean, I haven't really had a weird one, in the sense that for the most part the people that we meet are kind of like me, in the sense that, like, if I meet someone who I have some regard for, I want to let them know I have regard, and then I want to get out of their hair. Yeah. So, I got a lot of that, of like people just wanting to say, like, just wanting to check in and be, say how much the content means, and then just letting it go. Yeah. And some people are really like chatty and talkative, and that's fine because I'm the same way too. But as evidenced by the fact that I'm not sure how to stop talking right now.
And I get that with people too, where I really like you. I'm going to stop talking to you before you start to hate me.
Yeah. A preemptive strike.
Yeah. More Radwood questions from Brendan Fitzpatrick. I have two options for a ride. 91 Mercedes SL 500 or 94 Geo Metro convertible. Clearly the Geo Metro. Daddy, drive faster. I can't. It's a Geo.
I'm giving her all she's got.
Yeah, definitely Geo Metro convertible. I hope it's yellow with the black trim. Neo Glasgow says, just bought an RX-8. How long until the Apex seals go? What is it, 80,000 miles when they start to go? Have fun with an RX-8. It is what it is. The second it starts going bad, sell it to someone younger than you.
Ah, the young
Glenlivet. Workforce 520
it is.
says my super chat got skipped, and we answered that.
And
So we've come full circle.
There we go.
George Meyer, thank you again. 96 AMC Cherokee, interesting. 01 Subaru Outback, methamphetamine clinic.
Methadone?
Methadone clinic.
Yeah.
Yep. 97 320i, Autocross All-Star. All three 5 speeds. I escaped the United States Military Academy in June. Thanks for getting out, man. Or I mean, not thanks for your service, and also, hey, you did your 4 years. I want to meet you guys on a road trip. Oh boy, it's tough making these things work. Way tougher than you think.
Yeah.
To my home in New York. Which one would you like to review? I can't commit myself in the moment. Send me an email, year, make, model, city, state. We already did a Jeep Cherokee. Why is 96 an AMC Cherokee? That would have been like, did you mean 86? Because by the time the Cherokee was deep 90s, that's Chrysler Corporation.
They were possessed, or they got
American Motor Company ended in like 84, 85 or something. I don't think
it was that. I thought that it was around like 87, 88.
Maybe. I mean, they got absorbed in the Chrysler. Well, okay.
I did the whole stories about when they got absorbed by
Lee
Chrysler,
Iacocca.
and I forgot.
Lee Iacocca, they absorbed AMC under his tenure.
Yeah.
So he went to them 79?
Yeah.
Something like that. So I think maybe he's... Oh, what did he say?
He says 96 is the last year of AMC parts.
Oh,
so,
yeah. They're running the AMC straight 6. Yeah. 97 328i. Is that an E36 or something? I'm most interested in the BMW. You know the drill. Send me an email, regular car reviews, year, make, model, city, state. Say George Meyer from the Super Chat, and that you're getting out of the Marines and want to do a road trip home to New York. We'll see, man. It's harder to organize film shoots than you know, but we do the best we can.
Yeah.
And thank you also for your donation.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's going toward H2R, RCR H2R, which is the abbreviation for Harris Hill Raceway.
Oh, all right.
My brother has a Nissan Versa. It's a car. Every time I drive it, and this is Cactus Catastrophe again. Thank you, sir. Every time I drive it, I am impressed by the quality. All right. Given the car has for shameless blumpy. For a shameless blump. Oh. Given the car can be had for a shameless blumpy. Yes, it's very cheap. Look, it's a modern car. It's got fuel injection. It's got a CVT that knows what it's doing. Tony Airlines daily drives one to JFK to go to work as Captain Tony Robinson. We're going to have him back again because once he has to pick up his prescription sunglasses, which are sitting right over there. We got to go flying too. But that's going to be after the thermals are over. We'll figure something out. I don't know. It may be a road trip, and it may be like a father-son bonding thing with my dad.
Yeah.
He wants to fly again, but he's getting old, and I don't think he'll pass the physical to get his pilot's license back. So that may be just me, Dad, and Tony going flying. Maybe just to Reading, or there's some people with weird planes, but that would be like a road trip out to Ohio or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, My brother has a Nissan Versa. Every time I'm impressed by the quality given the cheap price. I am not impressed by the quality of a Nissan Versa. Even Tony's. It's a cheap freaking car. Like, if it keeps running, great, good. Put no money into it, drive it until it dies, and be happy with that.
Yeah, but it's like a girlfriend. You like what you like, you know. Oh yeah, these are the Golden Girls on the shirt, a Queen shirt, but with the, it's like one of my favorite shows ever. So I don't know. I've probably seen the whole thing through like a million times.
Never saw a single episode of
it's fantastic, but it's very specific to the time, the era, like the mid 80s, early 90s, because it ran from like 84 to like 91 ish, around there, and they make a lot of very specific like jokes from the era that I don't get.
The Ayatollah.
Yeah. Or stuff about,
speed dial.
Yeah, that type of thing.
Do they have? Is there episodes of the Golden Girls that have the answering machine trope, where you keep leaving messages for each other and no one can pick up?
Nah, they don't do any of that. Like, they didn't have an answering machine. And come to think of it,
are there any phone booth gags, like getting stuck in a phone booth and can't get out?
Not that I recall.
Oh, okay.
But that was more of a 90s thing. Like I could see that happening on Family Matters or something.
Okay.
But then Family Matters got weird with like Urkel and Carl going into space, or Steve creating a chamber that can turn you into Bruce
Stefan.
Lee. Oh yeah, or Stefan
the alter
Urkel.
ego. That made.
And then he created a cloning device so that he could turn Stefan, like Stefan got to be his own person. And now there's like the morality of it, of like, this is another human life now who wasn't born from anybody. It's just, he was created. It was a progression, because then you have like Robo Urkel, and you had
I forgot about Robo Urkel.
Yeah, it's like, it used to be just a fairly normal show about a family living in Chicago. It was a spin-off of Perfect Strangers, because the wife Harriet was the mail clerk on Perfect Strangers.
Yeah.
And Urkel was supposed to be like this minor character, and then all of a sudden, it's like, well, now we got to make Urkel dolls and Urkel O's, and
yeah.
But he was kind of a revolutionary character if you think about it, because he's one of the only black characters in the history of television where like his race has absolutely nothing to do with him and what he is and who he is. Yeah. And I almost like, he was just such a cool, like, I loved Urkel growing up. Like, he was like my favorite guy. Like, I always had to rush home to make it in time on Friday nights for Urkel.
There was I didn't have this one teacher in high school, but there was this one teacher who made this joke, or he wouldn't assign math homework on Friday because I know Urkel's on.
Oh, God. Well, it's the whole TGIF Friday night lineup. I mean, how could you possibly,
So old that was a thing.
Yeah. Oh, and
dude, there was no television in this apartment. I haven't had a TV for over 10 years.
I mean, you don't really need it now. Right. I mean, anything.
Of course, even that is an old guy thing, to brag that you don't have a TV. Like, why the fuck would you want?
But I mean, like, what's on TV though? Like, anything that you could watch, you get a Hulu subscription, and anything that airs on TV gets put on Hulu the next day anyway. Yeah. And my Hulu covers all 7 seasons of The Golden Girls, so I can put that on anytime I'm feeling like in the dumps.
Yeah.
Golden Girls got me through a lot of stuff, man. Yeah. And so, yeah, it's fantastic having that option there. And Hulu has a pretty deep library of really old TV shows. Like Dinosaurs is on there, that ABC like Jim Henson thing with the really dark series finale.
I know, right? That I watched that show. I watched Voyager. That was my Star Trek, which is like the least one that you're not supposed to like, but whatever, that's what I watched.
Yeah.
Because I was just a little bit too young for like the early days of Next Gen, although I saw like the last bits, but like my TV days were high school, and my TV days were normally Thursday nights. because I was in marching band. So Friday and Saturdays was just marching band. Friday was go to school, don't leave school, just hang out, get a ride to McDonald's or something, eat lunch, and then it's time for the football game. Now, yeah, I guess, and even like I had a few Friday nights after marching band was over, but then it was indoor drumline during the winter. So sometimes we'd have a Friday night rehearsal, and then we'd have the competitions in the spring for indoor drumline. So there was my weekends again. So whatever was on Thursday nights is what I watched, and that was when Voyager was on. It was on Thursday nights on TBS.
Didn't know that. Oh, Freelance Moto. When is the Songs of RCR album hitting the shelves? It's already out. It's on. You just type in regular car reviews to like Spotify or iTunes or anywhere, or Amazon or something, and it'll come up. Like, I called it Tracklist Bro with the subtitle "A Regular Car Reviews Album," so that anybody who put like regular car reviews into a search engine would come across it. The thing is that it's all originals, because I wasn't sure about the legality of doing parody songs and releasing them for profit. But you know, that, and most of the parody songs are jingles, and I don't know if I could expand half of them to a full song anyway. And then one last regular chat question from Dragonhead. Hey, Mr. Regular and Roman, I'm flying out to Reno on Saturday morning to pick up a 1986 Cressida with a full digital dashboard, sight unseen. Gonna drive it back 4.5 hours in 98-degree heat. Wish me luck. Best of luck.
All the way to Reno. It's an REM song.
Oh,
yeah. I love that move. The one-way ticket, buy the car. That is an adventure.
Yeah.
We still haven't yet done the million-mile Lexus, even though I drove it and it just drives like an old Lexus. There's nothing weird about it. I've never done the coast-to-coast car trip. I don't know if I ever will, because we've gone back and forth across the country at least 5 times now.
Yeah.
And it's like, do I want to spend a week driving straight for most of it?
I saw these YouTubers do like a continuous drive across the country, and then they edit it all down into like this one like 10-minute video of their like adventure driving nonstop across the country. Well, not nonstop, but like more or less nonstop. And it's just strange in that you get this tableau of what America is, especially through its roads and how it changes, and they change from state to state. And you're dealing with different scenery and different law enforcement and different everything. And it's just like, I get it. It's a beautiful country, but it's also, that's a really arduous drive, and it's very time consuming. And, you know, it's not like in the movies where, you know, it's an adventure in the adventure sense, where you have things to fill a journal with. Most of the things that you would fill a journal with aren't things that happen. It's things that you thought about as you were looking around. Yeah. You know, and it's like, I don't know, New Zealand was fantastic in that regard, in the sense that like, it was a wonderful place for reflection, but also like, because of the journal that I wrote, you know, things did happen to me while I was out there. And so, you know, it was a strange period in my life to be in, not to friggin' quote Taylor Swift on the podcast, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's like, I've been looking sad in all the nicest places, you know, and it's that weird thing of, you're in one of the most beautiful places on the earth, but your mind is elsewhere. And I feel like that's kind of what happens when you go on a road trip. It encourages your mind to wander the longer the trip goes. Yeah. Like, you can take a day trip to like Ocean City or something, and you'll be, or, you know, just to name a place. Yeah, Jersey
but Shore.
The longer the trip expands, the more of an adventure, I suppose, it becomes, the more it forces you to kind of become introspective in a way that's almost harmful in a weird way, because that's why I don't like being in my own thoughts. Not because I have harmful thoughts, but because I dwell on things that don't deserve the dwelling. I'm renting out headspace to lousy tenants.
That's a good line. That's a write that down line. I'm renting out headspace to lousy tenants. Fuck, that's good. Yeah. If I would do a road trip, it would be on a motorcycle. And Ted Stoltz almost did. I think he went cross country on his Kawasaki Vulcan 500.
Oh wow.
He wore that back tire down to the cords. That's the one thing about motorcycle tires; they wear down really well. I'd have to like leave with a fresh set of rubber, and then yeah, I could do like a cross country or motorcycle trip, but that would probably take the better part of 3 weeks because motorcycling is so physically and mentally draining as opposed to a car, which you can do coast to coast in about a week.
I feel like that's something that people don't really talk about that often, that in terms of driving a motorcycle, I got a little bit of it from the guy who brought that Harley from Canada down from Canada.
Yeah.
Or no, it was the Goldwing guy, I think.
No, that was a Harley.
No, it was a Harley. Yeah.
Goldwing is Philip Hand, and he's the same guy who owned the blah 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 blah. Oh, modernism. PT Cruiser.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that it's physically taxing to go for long distances on a motorcycle.
Because the bike needs you.
Yeah.
The car can drive itself, and now they're doing it. Bikes can't.
No.
Your body is part of this machine now, and it's required to keep this machine going. We're swinging up to 11 p.m. We may get the sign soon. Brought my first Adrian Records. Thanks for the generous donation.
Thank you so
Bought
much.
my first V8 piece Detroit steel a couple months ago. Now I understand torque. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? I have to put up with high RPM on the highways. Well, Gear Vendors solves that problem. It only has one. Oh, yeah, I heard about this. Justin Kramer told me about this. What? Yeah. 62 Buick. Automatic transmission. 1 speed. 1 gear. How did it do that? It's 1-to-1.
Huh.
It's nothing but a high gear. It's 1. What it did, have a gigantic torque converter. And I don't know how the Dynaflow and the variable speeds, the variable stall torque converter worked. Long and short of it is, as you're pulling out, it only has 1 gear, the torque converter is spinning faster than the output, and it just stays doing that. I don't know how a variable torque converter works. This is like a 1960s version of a constant or continuously variable, even though it isn't variable, but the torque converter is variable. It's stupid. Dynaflow. Yeah, the 2-speed Hydromatic is a better transmission than the Dynaflow, but the Dynaflow is like, how can we make this completely smooth? This could only exist with cheap gas. Imagine like you're slipping the clutch like crazy. 1-speed transmission, a gigantic, and this crazy torque converter. I like that. Variable speed torque converter. That thing's got to get like 10 miles a gallon. It's at best doing that. But what it was Buick saying, how can we make this as smooth as possible? Well, you just have this torque converter that spins very inefficiently and never fully engages until, I don't know, what, 40 miles per hour.
Adrian says, yeah, it gets 11 mpg.
Wow.
Incredible.
Wow. Yeah. I'll bet it's smooth, though.
Oh.
That's why they call it the Dynaflow. And Dynaflow was also referenced in the smash hit from like the album, I think, from 1998, Brian Setzer Orchestra, Vavoom.
Oh, wow.
When the big bands, we thought the big bands were coming back.
Yeah.
And like Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
Yep.
And Squirrel Nut Zippers.
Yeah.
And anyway, but he said, and when he did In the Mood, from that album. I still have that album. It's underneath my bed in my big folder of all the in my big folder of all the CDs. I gotta put that thing back in the CD player. I haven't listened to all my CDs in like maybe almost a year now. It's time to break them out again.
Yeah.
And listen to In the Mood. But he had the line in that album that says, "And when I'm in the mood, I cruise like Dynaflow." So that he's referencing that transmission.
Terrific. Now,
for the red one. Burgundy Burnout says the correct answer. How to fix an RX-8. LS1 swap it. Burgundy Burnouts, there is an RX-8 sitting at Bruce Henn's garage that will have, I think it's an LS3. It's going to get an LS3 with a turbo. It's going to be stupid fast. I met the owner. We'll probably review it depending when it's going to get finished. The owner's paying like $1,000 at a time to Bruce to have this thing done. Also, the Falcon is sitting at Bruce's right now, getting its yearly fix. Bruce jokes that I've been banging too many fat ladies in the back of it. And that's why it's sagging. So it's gonna get helper springs in the back to lift the back end up. I joked to Bruce that I like my ladies manly and my man's girly. So also the noise that the Falcon was making. Turns out it wasn't the rear end. The steel braided. The Falcon has all steel braided brake lines, and one brake line dangled loose and was hitting the wheel weight.
Wow.
On the wheel, and it was going thunk thunk thunk, and that's the noise. I think the brake line's fine, and I think it did a number on the wheel weight because the wheel weight is just like lead or something like that. It's like a softer metal.
Yeah. Like, what are you gonna really do?
Worst case scenario, replaces a steel braided brake line, so whatever. It's getting up toward 11. I haven't eaten dinner yet. All I've done is eaten watermelon and drinking Glenlivet, so I'm gonna get the sign.
The sign. Everybody else has fancy overlays. We just have a sign. There we go. Alright, so let's see. Who is next? Because I know there are others.
What does Suzuki and Mitsubishi have to do to get their act together? Armadillos for life. That's an internet meme, and I don't know what it means.
I don't know. No. I have no loving idea.
What do Suzuki and Mitsubishi... Well, Suzuki just... I mean, they'll make cars for the Japanese market and Southeast Asia. We don't care about their cars. Keep making motorcycles. Keep making the Hayabusa. People keep buying it. Mitsubishi has to make... Well, look, their little Mirage, as people call it, the worst car ever. It's just cheap, super cheap, tiny city car, and people will buy it. Like, as a car hipster, I'd say Mitsubishi, bring back your key vans and like your Delicas. Those are pretty nice. Mitsubishi had like a Outlander or some sort of SUV back in the day. I don't know. I think Mitsubishi will make like a bunch of little cars in the US. Mitsubishi won't have any dedicated dealers anymore. They'd like piggyback off of a Mazda dealership or something like that.
Get I don't know, get weird. Like, just do different things that other people aren't doing. Like, I'm not saying go out there and make the Homer, but just do something different that isn't just the same, SUVs and crossovers and all that nonsense everyone else is doing,
Not Ben 101 says, Roman, question for you. Your opinion on The Sopranos?
One of the greatest shows of all time. I actually did a rewatch not too long ago because my mom wanted to watch it, and so I was like, okay, let's do this. And it was a very weird watch to watch with your mother, but it's I don't know, we've seen worse in terms of graphic content of a sexual and violent nature, but it's one of the most literary shows ever made, but which is also true about Mad Men, and Matt Weiner worked on The Sopranos, so there's that connection. It's kind of like reading a really good novel in that there are so many different layers to it. It's not just a mob crime show. There are different things that are hinted at or said in a throwaway line in the first season that don't pay off until, you know, midway through the sixth. Like, just the amount of sheer planning that had to go into this, on top of the fact that, like, an actor, well, the actor who played Tony Soprano's mother died during, like, the second or third, like, in real life. And so she was going to be an integral part of the narrative going forward. And so they had to kind of write around the sudden loss of an actor who was going to figure into big plans later on. Now, granted, they tried really crappy CG to kind of, like, make you forget, like, basically CGI'd her head onto, like, this someone else's body, I guess, or I'm not entirely sure how they did it, but they took the remaining footage that they had, and it's really noticeable now to an almost cartoonish degree. But yeah, it's one of the greatest shows ever made. If you haven't seen it, it's worth the watch. I mean, you probably get, like, HBO Now and watch it on there for, like, you know, $15, and then you get HBO's entire library of movies and shows and documentaries and all that. But yeah, it's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the $2. Yeah.
Dr. Devarius. Yeah. Thank you for your generous donation.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So some vaporware, these podcasts, and other small recurring tidbits. Any info you can share on other projects we can expect later this year. Also, Kennywood, Knoebels, Hershey trips at all this year. I haven't been to Knoebels yet. The flooding, Knoebels Amusement Park was built at the bottom of a mountain and is kind of in a floodplain. So that amusement park floods a lot. I will go, at the very least, I'll go in October because they decorate the park for Halloween. Fun place. Has your cousin or nephew ever been there?
Don't know.
Maybe a thing.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go. I've never been to Kennywood.
Neither have I.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect. I heard it's great. I'm Hershey'd out. Hershey is no longer my park. Because I'm cheap, and I like Knoebels' pay-as-you-go thing.
Oh,
it doesn't.
Oh, go ahead.
So, if depending how much I want to throw into my personal channel, which has no content on it, it's just Mr. Regular. It would probably be more journals. I thought about doing the move of putting the camera in my car and talking. But I do this enough. I used to do that, yeah.
But yeah, it's you know, it's content. It could be about anything. It could be what's on your mind. What I started doing was started going live on Instagram and just talking, and I'll get maybe 10 people on there on my Instagram watching, but it's nice to kind of vent or just have people to talk to while I'm waiting out a storm to drive home or whatever.
I may just do like crazy experimental films with it.
Hey, it's definitely
like
something
really cheesy avant-garde. The doorknob, ding. The doorknob, ding. And my love of stop motion animation where just stuff moves across the forest floor. The doorknob, ding. I told you. The doorknob. Ding. Burgundy Burnouts. It says, do the cannonball run. It's a real race now. I'm not a race guy, and I don't want to get in trouble with the po-po. So, yeah.
Let's see.
Roman, use the word tableau. So fancy.
Oh, yeah,
like
I used
sentence?
No. He mentioned how I used the word tableau earlier because I was talking about the different scenic tableau of America as you drive across it, presumably. I don't know. I have a weird vocabulary. I used the word gormless the other day, which just
what does that word mean?
Literally just means awkward. But in British slang, it was almost like awkward in a stupid way. But now I think like the stupid.
Oh, sorry, I hit the mic. Sorry, guys.
Now I think like the stupid part of it no longer applies. Now it's just a word that means awkward, because I always use it in terms of people who are kind of like awkward and charming. Oh, they're so gormlessly charming, but it's just a great word that describes like a lumbering, awkward. It just sounds like it. Gormless.
Cactus catastrophe, something that can be said about. Ooh, yeah, they're not supposed to use that phrase in a paper ever. Something that can be said about the Nissan Versa is it is cheaper than the Mitsubishi Mirage and is better built. I'm with you there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, larger company, although GM is the largest, and I don't know if GM is larger than Toyota. Anyway, at least stateside.
Yeah.
The Mitsubishi Mirage is way better built. So yeah, I'm with you with the Nissan Versa. You get more car for your money. Meaning it's physically larger car.
Oh, it did the thing where it wants you to be in the most recent. Yeah, that's where we were. So
Dan Dunlop, twiddle dinklers.
Thank you for the 420 money.
Nobody mentions Mambo number 5. Mambo number 5 to me is Westwood bowling lanes. Walking into there, oh God, the 90s. The first Austin Power movie came out. Everybody was doing that voice.
Yeah,
and we're going to the bowling alley because glow bowling was just invented. And you walk into the bowling alley, and they got the neon lights on. There's some Radio Shack disco ball going, and I forget the hook from Mambo number 5. Like,
I'm thinking,
like it's a swinging shindig, baby. Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, the 90s were so good.
Old. But the internet just remained on your compact Presario with the curvy monitor.
Yeah, remember when you would get a magazine with an AOL trial CD and it would give you like X number of free hours on the internet? It's measuring internet in terms of hours that you're allowed to be on it is insane to me.
Adrian Records, $4.99. The last bit of throttle pulls a lever that changes the stator pitch. Okay. Well, like, where's the stator? Stator pitch raising the stall speed. Okay, how does the stator...
I'm gonna go pee.
Does the
No. I was gonna...
Does the vanes don't change in the stall converter. The stator pitch gives you a passing gear. You should have an email from me. Good. I'm looking forward to reading that. How the Dynaflow worked. Craving Classic says Super Turbine transmission in later years had the switch pitch torque converter. Switches on and off by a plunger switch up at the carburetor. It has separate synchros for a larger ratio. Fascinating. Go home and tie up the phone on the internet. Yeah, exactly. Daka Jones, thank you for your donation. Is modern safety equipment, lane departure, auto braking, etc., breeding worse drivers? It's an excellent question. What I think this lane departure and auto braking and all that stuff is, everything is we are doing the best we can to protect idiots from themselves. You don't need to answer the phone. The email can wait, and you won't lose your job because you didn't take the call in the car. And really, people are just checking Facebook. The human species is trying to protect itself, and as AVE said, you make something idiot-proof, and the world invents a better idiot. So, manufacturers and the good people of the industry are trying to act as sheepdogs, but occasionally, like this is like one of the darker aspects of the personality of my personality, and it's very a Dreiser-esque, morally neutral or morally ambiguous nugget, where I think that some people I was about to use the phrase don't deserve to drive, but the universe needs its angel's share, which is like a whiskey term or a wine term, and that when you put something to ferment in a bottle, say you put I forget how many gallons go into a barrel. I don't know. We'll use like 55 because I'm thinking of a 55-gallon drum. Yeah. You put in 55 gallons, you get out 54.5. Well, where'd that half gallon go? Well, they evaporated or something, but that's a weird thing. Like people in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, people died on the road. Well, they made a mistake, and James Dean was driving too fast.
Yeah.
Beginning and end of it, but now people look at their phones, and the question was about, is lane departure and that making drivers worse? I don't think so. I think that people have always been stupid, and we're trying to find ways to save them.
Yeah.
But they insist at looking on their phones.
I mean, the only way is to create some sort of thing where they don't anything that you could. Any possible reason that you would need to look at your phone is somehow answered for, but that's not possible.
No. Because
people are checking text messages or answering phone calls. Some people are using their phone as, like me. I don't have like a proper audio system in there. The radio's all messed up. I'm gonna get it replaced, but
you can just go to. You have I think you have a single or double DIN setup. You can look at the price of a new, like a used radio for a 90. Actually, that may be cheaper to just go out there and find one. But you could look on Crutchfield.
Well, I wanted something with like a Bluetooth or like an aux jack.
Yeah, just look on Crutch. That's where I bought mine, and they will make the wiring harness for you.
Yeah.
So you just pull your old radio out, put the new one in, plug it in, it works.
Yeah.
So I recommend Crutchfield.
But basically, like, I'll put on the Case File podcast, and then I'll put it somewhere where I can't even reach it once it's on and going, so that like I'm not even tempted to get the phone.
Yeah.
But it's there, it's playing audio, it's fine. If I hear the little like text message ding, I'll get it when I get it. If a phone call comes, I'll just let the ringtone play all the way through, and that'll be the end of it.
I feel like saying to people, look, you only got 2 grandmas, and they're both... This is like a line I could put in a movie if I ever do something. It's going to be like, why are you reaching for your phone? You only got 2 grandmas, and they're both dead. What could it possibly be?
Yeah. I mean, it's... I don't know. Some people, they just feel like, oh, well, it could be... It's like that episode where Homer keeps sending those robocalls to Flanders, and Flanders keeps saying, well, it could be my mother. It's like, it wasn't your mother the last 20 times that you got this call, but...
last $2. Love you guys. Drive on. Cactus Catastrophe. We will. Much. I think we've reached the end of it here.
I think we did reach the end. Wow.
Yep,
it's amazing that the sign goes up, and that was like literally the last thing that we got when the sign went up, and now it's remained the last thing, so let me not jinx it.
Yeah. All right, thank you guys. Thank you for everybody who is also talking in the regular chat. Thank you to everyone who donates to Patreon. The money from Super Chat and Patreon goes to our travel budget. Our next place we're going to be is, I think, October 16th the week of October 16th. Harris Hill Raceway, and also RCR Austin doing a meet there. We'll talk more about that in the future. Thank you for everybody to watch the videos, and a new video coming out Monday.
Yeah, thank you so much. Looking forward to that video coming out, seeing what everyone thinks of it, and looking forward to another podcast. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great week.
All right. Good night. I'm Brian.
And I'm Nick.
See you guys.